Hello and welcome to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich and we're here with Fr Eugene Ashkar, a priest in Victoria. Welcome to the program, Father.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good to have you back on again. And we're going to be discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from Medjugorje, which is a little village in Bosnia-Herzegovina where Our Lady has been appearing since June the 24th, 1981, and still is today. So Our Lady said on April the 25th, to the world, to everybody, dear children, today I invite you all to awaken your hearts to love. Go into nature and look how nature is awakening, and it will be a help for you to open your hearts to the love of God the Creator. I desire you to awaken love in your families, so that where there is unrest and hatred, love will reign. And where there is love in your hearts, there is also prayer. And dear children, do not forget that I am with you and I am helping you with my prayer, that God may give you the strength to love. I bless you and love you with my motherly blessing. Thank you for having responded to my call. So we'll start with the first sentence. Our Lady said, dear children, today I invite you all to awaken your hearts to love. I think this is quite important because this happened just around the time when there was a war in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And in a way, we can all relate to unrest in some way in our lives, whether people have war in their hearts or war in their families or war in the world or war with whoever. But the thing is, to rise above that, we need to awaken our hearts to love and get into a different plane where we actually really are on a different level, where we really are focusing on loving and we're relating to people with love and nothing less, I think.
Yeah, I think especially in the modern era, we've been lulled into almost hypnotic sleep.
I agree.
And the thing is that when you start to do that, everything just becomes familiar. And I think one of the things like today, we have a situation where, if it's not working out the way for you, just move on, leave that behind and move on to something else. Don't face any difficulties. Don't be challenged by the difficulty that it's going to cost you,
like
right?
Almost turn your head away from it. Yeah.
Well, it is. It's just it's run away from it, isn't it? Because as soon as there's difficulty, and when it asks of you something more than what you want, when you have to give something, then you say, "No, I don't want to give anything. I want to go." And that's where we need to wake up.
Yeah.
That love is willing the well-being of another person.
That's right.
It casts us into action.
Yeah.
And when we're being cast into action, it's going to cost us something.
Yeah.
As I tell a lot of ones when they come to the baptism, things like that. I said, that I'm sure that, the mother is not thinking kind thoughts when she's giving birth, but she still loves the spouse. All right?
Yeah.
And as much pain as she may be in the time of giving birth, she still loves the child.
Yeah.
Right? But that's love, because she's decided, I will go through this for the sake of this other.
Yes.
And I think we need to be awake to that we're being lulled into look after myself. It's not even really love of myself. It's I'm trying to think what the word for it is. It's indulge myself.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean you have to love yourself.
Yeah.
Drug addicts indulge themselves with the things, but there's no self-love in that.
No.
Right?
No.
They're even trying to escape themselves with the drugs.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very true. We need to awaken our hearts to love. That
and look
we
around
are so much greater than just catering to ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly. I think everybody needs to wake up now to love, like to make sure nothing goes wrong, around them, with just have their eye open for everybody, for each other.
Yeah.
Our Lady went on to say, go into nature and look how nature is awakening, and it will be a help for you to open your hearts to the love of God, the Creator. Like, sometimes if people don't believe in God, they can just go out into nature and they can just look at this amazing creation and think, look at that beautiful sun that's warming me. Look at those beautiful mountains, the hills, the trees, the breeze, all the beautiful things that God created. How can you not say God exists when you're amongst that? I mean, especially when you're just looking at the sun. You get the sun on your face and it warms you.
It's also, I don't know whether you've heard of George Washington Carver.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so he's the inventor of peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's the inventor of textured vegetable protein, artificial meat.
Okay.
He was the one that invented what to do with peanuts.
Okay.
Right? So the shells, the peanuts themselves, and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And he said the way how he did this, the way how he learned how to do these things, he'd go out into nature and he'd just walk in nature.
Okay.
And he'd have a look. And this is what gave him the means at the time, when the slaves in America were now being given parcels of land and they're growing cotton. Cotton sucks the daylights out of the goodness of the soil. And they'd have peanuts growing around the house for the kids to eat, to get the things there.
Yeah.
And he looked at it and he thought, I wonder what would this do? So he planted it out in a bigger area.
Yeah.
And then the next year planted cotton and got a bumper crop. So then he thought, I know how to help all these poor people, right, with the peanuts and things like that. So it was just brilliant.
Beautiful, all God's nature. Coming to him in inspiration while walking through nature.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It awakened him.
That's it.
To the things. So you can read it in two ways. Nature is awakening.
Yes.
Are they saying that nature is waking up, or is it saying that by going into a nature, it awakens you
as well? I think it's both.
And that's what I think it's more that.
Yeah.
That this is what wakes us up.
Yeah.
Just looking at the sunrise.
Oh, magnificent. We've got to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Fr Eugene Ashkar and we're discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from Medjugorje on April the 25th, 1993. Welcome back to the program, Father.
Thank you.
And Our Lady went on to say, I desire you to awaken love in your families so that where there is unrest and hatred, love will reign. And where there is love in your hearts, there is also prayer. This is such a beautiful line, isn't it? I mean, it's such a beautiful sentence for the families.
Oh, there's so much in it too. Yeah, it's just, it gives you sort of, it's humbling in a way. When you read the scriptures and they say it's inspired by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And yet all around the world, a priest is giving a homily on this thing here, and not all of them are giving anything near the same homily.
Yes, yeah.
But there's so much packed in there.
That's it, yeah.
And as Our Lady is the spouse of the Holy Spirit, she's got a lot to say in choice words. It's extraordinary.
Yeah. Because we do need to love in the families. I mean, I know someone was telling me the other day they were having difficulty with someone in their family. There's probably lots of people. Everyone's having difficulty with someone, possibly. But there's always difficulty. But I guess sometimes if you can't get along with someone, at least you can start by praying for them or praying for the situation to change. And once you do that, it's like you're sprinkling flowers over it. You're bringing it something more beautiful from it, which can give it the option to change.
It's a change of mindset too, isn't there? Like it says there, that there's unrest and hatred. All right, and that's imprisoning someone in that particular view.
Yeah.
And when you imprison someone in that view, you've imprisoned yourself there too.
That's right.
Because you can't move on, because you won't let them move on. So you're always there holding them there.
Yeah.
But when you decide that love, you're looking at the well-being of the person, you're giving them the opportunity to move on. But you yourself are moving along with them and trying to, like you say, with the prayer, you're trying to improve things for them and give them hope and give them a sign of...
But sometimes people also, they can't, like maybe they don't believe as well in God either, but they can't move from that situation. Like maybe something happened to them, or one of the siblings had said something to them that wasn't nice. They find it hard to move, like to have anything to do with them anymore. Say, for example, they don't want anything to do with them anymore because they said something that was really awful. And anybody who heard it would think that was like an awful thing to say. But somehow we have to still get past even the worst things. I don't know, what advice would you give? I would say pray and love.
I've dealt with a number of people with this sort of thing. I haven't spoken to my brother or my sister or my mother or my father or it is for 20 years. Or something.
That's similar to what
And my
I heard.
first reaction is, can you even remember why this first started? How it actually started, what it is? Oh, but I said, no. You're building things on top of, you're making, there was a molehill. Right?
Yeah.
And you didn't deal with that.
Yeah.
So then there's another molehill. Now you look at it and there's a mountain.
Yeah.
But you don't know what that first molehill was. The very cause of all of this division.
Yeah.
And for most of them, that's very true.
Yeah.
They say, oh, it goes back to so-and-so. Then you keep talking to them.
Yeah.
And then you find, but there was this other thing too. Was that before or after? Oh, that was before. Okay, so it wasn't that event. It was this event.
Yeah.
Right? And was there something before that? Yeah. Well, this is, it just, you become such a prisoner of your own, and you don't remember even what it is anymore. And I think that's really the big one. This
I think
unrest.
a lot of it's hurt. It's when someone's really hurt, they find it hard to forgive the person that's hurt them. And I guess that's what people need to work through. Like, how do we in life forgive someone who's hurt us? I mean, we can pray for them and wish them well, wish that they would change into being nice people. Pray for them to be nice people.
To become nice people, that's right.
I think that's maybe a good way to start it. Pray that they become nice people and loving people. Sometimes you can't go near them because there is so much animosity.
Oh, I do tell people, I said, you don't have to put yourself
in there.
You don't have to put yourself in the path of the fire.
Yeah.
You can avoid it. It doesn't change the fact though that God wants everyone to be saved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if this person is doing things that are holding them back, then okay, maybe we need to pray that they will lose these traits that are creating difficulties, because after a while they can become very embittered because people will avoid them. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's not anything that they've done, it's these people are avoiding me, and then they become bitter, and it just doesn't help.
We have to find, it would be so beautiful to find a solution where everyone could get along, like everybody, everywhere, Everyone would just love one another.
It'd be boring though, wouldn't it?
Oh, no, it'd be beautiful. It would be so beautiful because it was so mystical. When you try and see
there
Jesus...
should be a place called heaven then.
Well, we can have it on earth. It says, that thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
We can have it here, but we have to do the work as well. We have to do...
Oh, yes.
We have to be honest people, because people tell white lies here and there and they think that's all right. I think we have to get back to being really honest people in every way. Yeah. We have to get back to nature, get back to God's food that he created for us in the first place. We've got to do a lot of work on ourselves, I think, to create heaven on earth, because then we're in a more peaceful state, and then we're more approachable to other people as well. Yeah.
Well, we also realise that, our sinfulness affects everything else around us. So we are affecting our environment.
Yes,
right? So everyone's sort of saying, oh, it's the world and the greenhouse and whatever have you, and things like that. But what has created these circumstances? And that's man's greed.
Yes.
Right? He's just tossing... I just saw a documentary just the other day about what's happening to the plastics. There used to be this massive island of plastics floating in the sea. Now they're going along, they're having a look at it, and they're finding only certain types of plastics. It's all been sinking, and it's affecting everything that lives in the sea and the floor of the seabed. But all of that is plastics that we've tossed out onto the beach, into the sea.
Put in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm here with Father Eugene Ashkar. If you've just joined us, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
And so we just finished off with the last sentence. Our Lady said, "And dear children, do not forget that I am with you and I am helping you with my prayer that God may give you the strength to love. I bless and love you with my motherly love. Thank you for having responded to my call." So she's reassuring us.
Oh yeah, it's always wonderful to have Mum help you and cheat, doesn't it? Really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm there to help you. With my prayers, and we know her prayers are always effective.
Yeah.
So it's a great encouragement to us, and particularly the strength to love. That's the thing. That is a challenge, right? Because it does take a personal strength, given by the grace of God, to be able to love. Because true love, the measurement of true love is how much are you paying? How much is coming from you that's paying a price for this other person.
Yeah.
And so Mary's there praying for the grace that we will receive to be able to do that.
Beautiful. And then I'll read Our Lady's message, which came on I'll do September the 25th,
September
2002. There's two, we've got two.
Oh, yes,
I'll
okay.
try this one. This one's beautiful too. Our Lady said to the world, everyone, "Dear children, also in this peaceless time I call you to prayer. Little children, pray for peace, so that in the world every person would feel the love towards peace. Only when the soul finds peace in God, it feels content, and love will begin to flow in the world. And in a special way, little children, you are called to live and witness peace. Peace in your hearts and families, and through you, peace will begin to flow in the world. Thank you for having responded to my call." So we'll start with the first sentence. "Dear children, also in this peaceless time I call you to prayer. Little children, pray for peace, so that in the world every person would feel love towards peace." When I first read that, I was thinking, of course everybody would feel love towards peace. Everybody would want peace. But there are people who probably don't even want peace. There's crazy
they want
people.
vengeance, or they want, they want power, they want self-importance, and they have no peace until they can get it. And then when they get it, they still haven't got any peace. It's this, they are starved for a particular thing, because it's all about self-gratification.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, well, that's... And then you've got to reach people like that, you have to say, when you have peace, you feel so much better. That's all you can say to them. It is above everything else. The feeling of peace rises above actually every other feeling, I think.
I tell a lot of children that, let's say, look, it gets upsetting when, they get angry at you, or they make fun of you, or they put you back when you're doing the right thing, and they want you to help you. They want you to join in on doing the wrong thing. But so you've got to remember, right? That's not your problem. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's their problem. Yeah. They're the ones that can't seem to do it. I say, you can have such peace knowing, no, I've done the right thing.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, if they're not going to, they're going to try to upset me or whatever it is, so that's their problem. It's not mine.
No, that's right.
And some of the kids come back and they go, "Oh, it's just made it so much, more different." This one was such a bully, And I was able to say to them, I said, "Do you really need to be a bully? Is that the only way you think you're going to get friends?" And he said, "The look on that person's face." He said, I felt so good, because I was right. I didn't bully him. I didn't, be mean to him. I did the right thing to sort of tell him you're being a bully. I felt so good. I said, well, that's what peace is, isn't it? When you do the right thing, you have a peace within you. Yeah. Like Paul says, with God on my side, what need I fear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have peace. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a wonderful gift.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then Our Lady went on to say, only when the soul finds peace in God, it feels content, and love will begin to flow in the world. It's so true. It's the peace in God.
It is. I mean, once you've tasted it, all right, that's just, it's extraordinary. The spirituality, when they talk about, it's a hard road at first, all right? But once you taste the sweetness of this, you go, oh, no, this is much better than what I've had to go with before.
Yeah.
I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
And you start rejoicing in it, and you start rewarding yourself with it, and you just, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. Because you do, like you have this peace, and when it's peace in God, I've got nothing to fear.
Exactly.
Right? I can face God and say, I've done the right thing.
And sometimes you can go off the rails, like you can have it all, and then you can think, well, maybe this isn't right, and you go and find something else, or you go and look for something else, or you think, oh, maybe this is better, or this is better. You look for the grass to be green on the other side, type of thing, and then you think, no, I had it all along. I had that peace all along. I don't need to go here. I don't need to look there, because it's not there. It's not anywhere else.
That's true, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
How many parents sort of go, I try to tell my kid, been there, done that, it's not going to work, but the kid still has to take the hard road a bit and experience it themselves and realise, that mum and dad actually do know better. They actually know. Yeah. There's that joke, isn't it? When they're 16, they can't believe how dumb their parents are.
Yeah.
When they're 21, they're amazed how much their parents have learnt in 5 years. Right?
Yeah.
Because now they've been through some of these hard knocks, and they've gone through the difficulty, and they realise, Mum and Dad were really helping me.
And then when they have their own family, they think, oh my gosh, how did they do all that?
Yeah. How did they put up with me?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so then the last line is, and in a special way, little children, you are called to live and witness peace in your hearts and families, and through you, peace will also begin to flow in the world. Thank you for having responded to my call. So we need to focus on peace.
We do. I mean, when someone sees that you're a person of peace, they're going to say, I want what you've got.
Yeah.
Right? I want that.
Yeah.
This is what I want. And it brings these people to sort of say, well, how do you have the strength to do this? How do you do this? And then you're able to say, well, I have this confidence, I have this peace in God because, when I do this, I do it this way. It just gives me that peace and this comfort. And I love being in this point. And then they start trying it. And then they'll come back to you and they'll go, you're so right.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for coming on the program, Father.
Always a pleasure.
Will you come on next week?
Yeah, sure.
You've been watching Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich, and our guest was Fr Eugene Ashkar. God bless you all.
Bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit blowing.